Hi guy, in this video, I'm going through the 5 best countertop steam ovens in 2023. These are the top convection steam ovens in their class according to buyer ratings and reviews. The steam ovens discussed here are widely available for purchase and cover many price points. They'll put steam convection cooking at your fingertips if you've been wanting to test out the tender, juicy and golden results for yourself, but don't want the hassle or expense of remodeling your entire kitchen. Number 1. Cuisinart CSO 300N Convection Steam Oven. This little stainless steel steam oven has a special place in my heart. It was, for a long time, literally the only option for a countertop Combi steam oven. The Cuisinart oven has 0.6 cu foot capacity and 9 single and combination cooking modes. It will run for approximately 2 hours on full steam without a water tank refill, which is outstanding. I first tested the standard steaming function with ginger chicken, cut into bite-sized pieces and marinated. I estimated it would take about 18 minutes steaming on stove top, so I set the same amount of time. I can see it was not producing the heavy steam I expected, and at the end of the 18 minutes, the meat was cooked well outside but not in the deepest part of the dish. I then switched to super steam at 300F for an extra 10 minutes. The result was perfect. After that, I mainly used super steam for tofu with scallops, prawns, meat pies, whole fish, while chicken. I tried other super steam settings with 225F divided by 250F divided by 275F divided by 300F, all with great results. The super steam function produces a lot more steam than the standard steam function, and the added heat more closely simulate the stovetop steaming environment. I found 250F a good starting point to experiment. Number 2. Tovala Smart Oven Pro 6-in-1 Countertop Convection Oven. We weren't sure what to expect from our first Tovala meals, but we were definitely impressed. Although we were skeptical about putting things like a piece of raw chicken and a tray of uncooked rice next to each other with the same cooking settings, it worked well every time. Proteins came out moist and fully cooked, while grains were perfectly tender without getting dried out. Vegetables also come out of the Tovala Smart Oven perfectly roasted. When we served roasted broccoli to a guest who thought she didn't care for the veggie, she was so surprised by how delicious it was that she immediately ordered her own Tovala. The provided sauces and dressings are all tasty as well. Dishes like shawarma spiced chicken breast with lemon garlic rice and crunchy veggie salad were satisfying and delicious. There was some welcome diversity on the menu, too. Highlights included Mediterranean seasoned chicken breast with creamy dill rice and lemony roasted broccoli, coconut crusted salmon with rice, mango salsa, and chimichurri, and kung pao braised beef and fried rice. The instructions on the provided recipe cards are very clear and easy to follow, with never more than a couple of simple steps to combine the already prepared ingredients. So if eating freshly made food is high on your priority list, but you hate cooking, this is a fantastic happy medium. When we tested baked goods in the Tovala Smart Oven, whether it was biscuits delivered from Tovala or homemade chocolate chip cookies, the oven did an excellent job. Preheating was also exceptionally quick. The Smart Oven with air fry function is the latest addition to the Tovala lineup, and it lived up to our expectations. Air-fried chicken, frozen sweet potato tots, and standard frozen fries all came out crispy. The Tovala app even has built-in cooking protocols for all of the foods we tested, so we didn't need to look up cook times or adjust settings ourselves. The Tovala meals are tasty, and the Smart Ovens are incredibly useful tools to have in the kitchen, even if you take a break from the meal delivery service. They preheat quickly, and the air fry function on the Smart Oven is excellent, while the steam function on the Smart Oven Pro could easily become your go-to for reheating leftovers. Number 3. Anova Precision Smart Oven Combination Countertop Oven. We were mighty impressed with the Anova Precision Oven. It produced excellent roast chicken, potatoes that were soft on the inside and crispy on the outside, and crusty bread. There is a learning curve to using it, but the accompanying app makes it easy to get started. Sous vide cooking was unconventional, but effective. The sous vide function, much more so than steam, was the big puzzler. How do you sous vide without a bagged, vacuum-sealed ingredient and a pot of water? Instead of submerging your food into a vat of water, the oven relies on steam to create a humid, damp atmosphere at a controlled, low temperature. And it worked really well. The sous vide steak and sous vide chicken I made were both moist, tender, and incredibly easy to make. The probe, which you stick into whatever you're cooking, attaches to the oven and tracks the temperature, which you can also view on your phone. And, just like the old-fashioned sous vide way of cooking, you can set and forget without worrying about rubbery, overcooked results. The oven struggled a teensy bit with even browning. I made a few off-script items with the oven, including 2 recipes for hot cross buns. Both times, I noticed that one half of the buns, the left bit, to be specific, seemed to brown faster than the other side. However, at the end of baking, the entire top was nice and evenly golden. I also toasted 6 pieces of toast using the app's Toast 101 setting, and the results were quite pale, with the most toasted pieces in the center of the rack. The Anova Precision Oven is a great do-it-all piece of gear, and nearly everything we made in it turned out perfectly cooked. There are only a few drawbacks. It was a little weak on the toasting front, lacked an adequate way for steam to vent, and there is a learning curve to using it, but the app helps you hit the ground running. Number 4. FOTILE 4-in-1 ChefCubii Countertop Steam Oven. The FOTILE 4-in-1 ChefCubii oven looks great, but when we tested its more niche settings, we found that it falls short in functionality. We really wanted to like the FOTILE 4-in-1, but ultimately we just found ourselves more frustrated than impressed. As mentioned above, the oven's knobs felt fussy and hard to use. The LED screen has almost too many options to choose from, meaning you'll always have to pick from steam, low steam, true convection, convection bake, broil, steam bake, steam clean, decale, warm, proof, dehydrate, air fry, or menus, which will take you to the 40 different presets, all of which are weirdly specific, also slightly confusing. A far cry from the world of the best microwaves. For instance, if you choose roast a whole chicken, the oven will then ask you what temp you want to do it at and for how long. It gives you suggestions, but those don't appear to be based on anything super clear. For instance, it doesn't ask how big the chicken you're roasting is, so how do you know if they're giving you directions for a 3-pound chicken or a 5-pound chicken? Beyond that, the racks are a bit confusing, as previously mentioned, so our test chicken came out of its cycle weirdly gray on the inside but also burnt on the top. It tasted fine and was cooked to temperature, but it was hard to get past its unappealing visual vibe. We also ran into trouble with the steaming function, which we attempted to use to make carrots for kids' lunches. There's no carrot preset, which is fine. We just rolled the dice and chose broccoli instead, and the carrots came out okay, if a tiny bit crunchier than we might normally like. The rub was that the oven was absolutely soaked inside after the steaming cycle, though, meaning we had to soak out all the leftover water with a towel. It was a slightly gross and tedious process, and one that left us wishing we'd just used a basket on the stove to do the job in the first place. We ran into similar issues with the dehydrating function, which, admittedly, isn't something that this writer necessarily does all the time anyway. We tested it with some green grapes we had in the fridge, picking the juju/plums/raisins preset and hoping for the best. After a weirdly long preheat, which, it should be noted, is a problem across the board, the oven said it would take just an hour to turn the grapes into raisins. This seemed too good to be true, and indeed it was. When we came back an hour later, the grapes were still plenty hydrated, seeming instead to just be slightly warmer and maybe a little more shriveled if you really looked for it. Number 5. NuWave TODD English IQ 360 Digital Smart Oven. From toasting to baking to air frying to dehydrating, it's multifunction at its best. There are definitely a lot of features that require manual reading to figure out. It's not the most intuitive with all the selections you can choose, and it may even be overboard with all the settings it offers. You can even choose the fan location and power. I do like that it has Wi-Fi connectivity, and the temperature probe is very helpful to check on the food temperature without having to be in the kitchen or open the oven. It is large and does take up some counter space, but it wasn't that much larger than the Cuisinart air fryer/toaster oven combo. The inside of the NuWave, however, seems much bigger. I find that it cooks pretty evenly and quicker than my regular oven. I would definitely recommend this appliance to someone who is tech savvy and wants a machine that can do it all. I wouldn't recommend this for anyone who likes to keep it simple. Combine the heat from the PowerPort Smart Grill on the bottom and the convection heat coming from the top of the ProSmart Grill, and you'll be cooking your food on all sides at once for tastier results, made faster and easier. Super precise cooking. The patented linear teeth thermal technology keeps the TODD English ProSmart grill at a precise, consistent temperature between 50 degrees Fahrenheit and 500 degrees Fahrenheit with virtually no fluctuations.